You know what's crazy? I feel like every other video that I make kind of gets these simping allegations. I get these kind of massive, wide simping allegations because I kind of reference a female character that I really like in a show and I get called a simp. And I'm not gonna lie. I put my hands up. I know you can't see me, but my hands are up. And frankly, I am simping over some of these characters, okay? And I think it all started personally with CW Flash. So today, I will be simping over all of CW Flash's love interests. Yes, you heard me right. I said it. I'm gonna be simping over all of Barry Allen's in CW love interests. So I won't be talking about some other people in CW Flash that I personally think should be simped over, but I won't be talking about them. And I'm more specifically thinking about one breacher or gypsy who I can definitely simp over any time, but that's gotta be on the point. Let me not get too distracted. I'll be talking about CW Flash's or Barry Allen's love interests. I know it's a little confusing because I said CW Flash as a TV show, but these are just Barry Allen's love interests for the most part. So I don't want to waste that much more of your time because it's time for your boy to simp. Now, I want to talk about every single one of them for the most part, and I want to start with somebody who technically didn't actually go out with Barry Allen, but someone I even made a whole video about, so I'll keep it minorly brief, and that would be Caitlin Snow. I feel like I always, every time CW Flash gets brought up, I always have a tendency of talking about Caitlin Snow. Maybe there is a part of me that has insane attraction to extremely intelligent women, or whatever the case is, but Caitlin Snow was always and will always be one of my favorite love interests for Barry, especially outside of the normal love interest where they actually have dated. Now, for starters, she's a flat-out brilliant scientist. Caitlin is a highly skilled bioengineer and one of the smartest members of Team Flash. And frankly, her intelligence and her scientific knowledge and just the way she goes about herself kind of complements Barry's own intellect and also Barry himself extremely well. And I feel like it would be perfect for Barry to have a collaborative partner the way that Caitlin honestly is to him throughout season 1 and further on. We see Caitlin kind of bring a totally different experience to Barry Allen, right? We get these quippy moments, we get these really wholesome moments, but we also get some very serious stuff as well, right? We get this whole idea of her being a compassionate and caring person, a supportive friend, but we also get the trauma behind everything. And that might sound a little bit dark, and some of you are probably sitting here like, wow, we're really talking about trauma right now. But the fact is, Barry and her have gone through quite a lot, right? And they continue to go through quite a lot. So the fact that they're both survivors of trauma and they help each other in that regard so often and so heavily makes her such an amazing love interest for Barry Allen. I mean, I know I've talked about this in previous videos and I said I would try to keep it brief with her, but the fact is, Caitlin is smart, she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's a great supportive person. She knows that some people just need that helping hand, that need someone's hand to hold, to just guide them through bad situations. I mean, she literally sat there and listened to Harrison Wells's or Eobard Thawne's video message for Barry Allen, something that Barry was terrified of. And she sat with him and did just that. Her loyalty, her dedication, all of it is something that should be held at such a high level. And frankly, I know that I can say that a lot of people do talk about this because, frankly, a lot of people do talk about Caitlin Snow and how amazing she is. I know there was like a whole, way back when, a YouTube video on a compilation of all the times that Snowberry was really a thing. And the video was so damn long. Like, it's crazy how much shared experiences they go through, not only through emotional support, but also just common battles. I know they're on Team Flash, so a lot of people will be like, oh, well, yeah, like, no shit, right? Like, they're gonna have common battles because they're part of Team Flash together. But like I said before, the common battles are not just the ones that they fight out when they're taking down crime, right? The common battles also include some of the stuff that they deal with on a personal level, or some stuff that they had to deal with for a long period of time, right? Their potential chemistry was absolutely insane, and frankly, they even had chemistry through alternate realities. Like, we had a Barry Allen convince a Caitlin Snow to not go through with what she was going through, because it was just a weird relationship that basically crossed over different Earths, which was absolutely wild. And to wrap up, what makes Caitlin so amazing is that she has this significant character growth, right? She deals with like this dissociated personality disorder with Killer Frost and Caitlin Snow. But on top of that, they have this dynamic where Killer Frost used to be like a villain, like a hardcore villain. And even Barry, or Savitar, was able to convince her to come over because of the way he looked and because of who he was. That's the type of connection both Barry and Caitlin had. And I'm not gonna lie, Caitlin would be my day one. She's my ride or die, man. I mean, you know, I don't have anybody like that, but that's you know, neither here nor there. But Caitlin Snow is an absolute amazing character, not only just for Barry Allen himself in terms of a relationship, but just an amazing character in general. Now, I do have some gripes with, you know, later on what happens and some of the things she does, but that's all written, and, you know, I'm not really too worried about that, but I just wanted to bring that up because that's just, you know, kind of whatever. It's not too crazy. But at the same time, I feel like the last dissociated personality of Caitlin just didn't hit as much as, well, Killer Frost, right? I don't think it was as good as Killer Frost. But now let me wrap up Caitlin Snow, because I did say I wanted to be quick about talking about her, but obviously that didn't happen the way I wanted it to. But I want to go on to another love interest that was actually the first technical one that he dated, which was Linda Park. Now, I feel like I've talked about this quite a bit, but I was a huge simp of Linda. Now, I'm gonna be honest, we didn't really get that much in terms of Linda, just in terms of like actually knowing in depth what she does, what she can do, whatever, right? But we didn't really get that much of it. We know that Linda is a sports journalist at Central City Picture News. She has like this dedication to her career. She has ambition and all of these things. And I'm gonna be honest, stuff like that is extremely hot. I mean, let's just be honest, right? If a woman has ambition, has dedication, has all of these things for her career, that is an amazing thing to have. But I'm gonna be honest, Linda Park was more of a childhood crush for me. Well, obviously, when I was growing up, being that this show did come out in like 2012, I had, you know, massive crush on Linda Park. And it was probably more because she had this insane, bold personality, right? She was confident. She was unafraid. She knew what she wanted, and she would go after it no matter what, even if that was her personal life or in her career. And I feel like the boldness of who she was and the person that she was added to the exciting dynamic of the Barry Allen relationship with her. And she had a very direct approach in life, right? Like very direct, because she would just be flat out, like, just straight up tell you how it is. And she was one of those people that would be like, yeah, I didn't know you had feelings for Barry. And then Iris would deny it, but no, she knew, right? She would be straight up with her, straight up with Barry Allen. I mean, we even had the whole scene where he eats a pepper. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I would eat whatever pepper you need me to freaking eat to go on a date with her. Now, is that simping? 100%, and that's the point of the video. But yeah, I would 1000% eat whatever pepper you needed so I could do that, because frankly, we didn't see much of her, and there wasn't like a ton of time where we could really learn what she was all about. But still, I feel like we got what we needed out of that character, right? She had such natural chemistry, Linda and Barry, and maybe you guys know some like deeper lore. Maybe they're just really good at acting, but I felt like Linda and Barry had some insane chemistry, like unbelievable chemistry personally. And it was like these interactions they had, from like light-hearted interactions or fun interactions, felt so amazing, and like the mutual attraction felt like it was just evident to happen no matter what, and it felt as if they were basically going to be together for a very long time. Obviously that didn't happen. We know why that didn't happen, but it was more because obviously Barry Allen's supposed to end up with the one and only Iris West, but and which we will be talking about her in a little bit, but let me not get ahead of myself. I just feel like for the brief moment that we had Linda Park, the brief moment that we actually were surrounded by her and her role, even though it was a short time, I feel like she had a pretty significant role with Barry as basically his love interest. I feel like the presence she had was significant, and the impact she had on his life was actually relatively significant, and was more of like a confidence thing and an understanding thing, so that like he could move forward emotionally, especially with like Iris West and also his superhero, you know, perspective on life. I feel like she was a big part of that specifically. And frankly, her memorable moments, just seeing her interact with Barry, seeing her personality, I feel like that was why I was like such a simp for Linda Park, especially at that time. But I was also, you know, like a teenage kid where I was watching The Flash and I was like, whoa, like this girl is absolutely gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. You know, those are the things I said because, you know me, I'm a gentleman. I don't say anything else. Okay. No more joking around on that regard. I want to get to the next person we're going to be talking about, and it's actually the one true love and the one that was supposed to happen no matter what, and that was Iris West. Now, I know I talk about this a lot, and I know I say this quite a bit, and I'll probably still stick to it, and I do believe that the idea that Iris West had to be with Barry at the end of it all wasn't the best idea in the world. But like I said, I'm here to simp over these characters, and I feel like Iris has a lot of qualities I can definitely simp over, and I don't want that came off really bad, but I think she just as a character, especially earlier on, had some really good qualities, right? We knew that they were childhood friends, so they had a chemistry and a bond from there. And I know some people will be like, well, it was kind of weird. They were like step siblings, or kind of, you know, like pseudo step siblings. And I hear you. I completely hear you. But they're not blood related, like at all. And I know they kind of like grew up in the same thing. And it is a little bit awkward because we are talking about how Barry calls Joe kind of like dad, like that's my dad. But in all reality, when you get married as a couple, when you get married, you also would call the other person's parents mom and dad. I mean, I know some people do that, and I know that's not really weird because you're literally married, but they're not blood related. And I feel like the childhood friendship thing definitely kind of added to the bond that they had for the most part. They added to the kind of the relationship and the chemistry that they had. I think earlier on, and I don't know if maybe I remember this differently than other people, I feel like the earlier on quips and the connection was so good. Like I felt like it was so fun, it was so like quippy, it was so quick, it was funny, like all the stuff that they would talk about, kind of like their chemistry, their natural chemistry between each other was pretty damn good. And at the end of the day, Iris did have this mutual support for Barry. And yes, it would get annoying from time to time, just, you know, watching her slot into that like weird leader role, which was always so odd to me. But at the same time, I feel like she had her moments. I mean, this girl literally jumped off a building for Barry to save him, right? So that's 100% something to simp over. I mean, when she knew in the face of it all, like she knew in her mind that she was going to die, she basically wrote these vows, she wrote all of these things, and basically had them on recording for Barry to listen to. And it was such a like strong moment, in my opinion. Like, this is what really connected me with Iris in that season 3. And I know I've said, don't get me wrong, I know I've said in the past, like, she should have, you know, perished, you could say, in that season. But that beautiful moment with the video playing, with her saying that oh, she'll take him as her husband and say all of these things. It was truly beautiful with the song playing, you know, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay, I can't sing, but it was beautiful. Like, it was genuinely awesome. Her bravery, her resilience, the dedication she has to Barry. I know there is some drama moments that makes people really dislike her. And honestly, I hear you, I see you, and I'm kind of in the same boat. But here's the thing. Anybody who's on screen as much as she is, and you're involved as much as she kind of is going to have those drama moments that really don't make sense, because CW is kind of like a drama superhero show, right? You even had like your Superman and Lois type of dramas too, where even sometimes you'd sit there and be like, this makes no sense. Like, why are we having drama over this? Like, this makes no sense at all. But that's kind of where it falls in between, especially with Iris, because Iris is going to be in the limelight a ton, like literally a ton. So of course she's going to obviously deal with that, and deal with that weird kind of drama that they decide to add. And there's always been, right, a shared vision, shared goals with Iris and Barry. They have like this iconic romance. I mean, it is literally the romance for the Flash. Barry Allen and Iris West are tied together, like they are soul tied, right? And they are together kind of forever, and that was like the whole thing. I know personally I wanted something else, but that's fine, I get it. And I feel like their emotional depth and also the complexity of them two together is pretty much really, really good no matter what. Even if there is some kind of missteps along the way, I think it feels pretty authentic, their relationship. Outside of the forced drama, I feel like their kind of interactions are normally pretty damn good and kind of damn wholesome as well. So overall, I'm not too mad. I can't be too mad about Iris West ending up with Barry Allen. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it. I mean, Iris West or Candice Patton, she's very attractive. Okay, all of these women are very attractive. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people will attack her for like whatever the case, it's some weird stuff, but all these are opinions at the end of the day. And I think if I look at it objectively, and I looked at it through the lens of what makes every single one of these female characters in Barry Allen's life good, and like good for, you know, the love interest role, I can say that Candice Patton or Iris West in this reality is still really good for the role of girlfriend or wife, of course. But someone who I think a lot of people actually agree is even better than Iris West would have to be Patty, right? I think Patty is one of those characters that everyone fell in love with in a matter of a couple episodes. Patty was brilliant. She was a brilliant detective. She was highly skilled police officer, right? So it felt like it kind of slotted in perfectly. She had a very scientific mind as well, strong interest in science. She was an intellectual, right? She had curiosity. She was very analytical. And I feel like they had one of the best dates probably possible. I mean, we had a blind Barry Allen and Patty going on a date. I thought that episode was freaking beautiful, by the way. I thought that was amazing. Patty has this like bubbly personality and also a passion for justice. I think Patty overall kind of ticks every single box. Like, I think Patty coming into the show was like kind of perfect, because this was like, if you put a person, like a random person with no thoughts, no ideas, no nothing, into a giant like tube or something, or a giant box, and you were like, okay, we're gonna create the perfect Barry Allen / the Flash love interest, it would be Patty, right? You get the police officer, you get the detective mind, you get the bubbly personality, you get her sense for justice, you get the fact that she's very empathetic, you get that she's a supportive girlfriend, she has insane bravery, but she's very upfront, she's career driven, and she has like pursuits for dreams. They have this natural chemistry. We've seen that they have like a very sweet romance. I mean, it's literally could go on and on, right? Patty was absolutely amazing. And I don't think anybody would even argue with me in that regard. Like, Patty was hands down like one of the most amazing characters, and minus the whole Linda thing, because I want to bring that up, because Linda, we didn't get to see a ton of Linda, but we did get to see quite a bit of Patty. And anybody who's willing to kind of shoot a Harrison Wells, I mean, let's be honest, you know, like, that's pretty freaking badass in my opinion. And I feel like their chemistry was so good. And that last scene when she's leaving on the train and she clicks and calls Barry and is like, there's somebody on the train has a gun, blah, blah, blah. And then he shows up in the Flash suit and he goes, and she just tells him like, oh, it's a false alarm. Like, sorry. It's such a, like, a beautiful scene, because honestly, it's like beautiful and heart-wrenching at the same time, because in all reality, Barry did not want to reveal his identity to her and didn't want to keep her here because he was worried that she would die, right? She would be hurt, something would happen, but obviously she wanted him to want her to stay. And that's such a, like, a heartbreaking thing, because it's like, this person idolizes you, thinks you're amazing, right? And wants to spend, like, as much time with you as possible, maybe even spend the rest of her life with you. And all she wants you to do is tell her that you want her to stay, right? And that she would stay if you told her that, which is crazy to me, that she would be willing to sacrifice kind of everything she worked for just to be with Barry. And, like, that was such a, like, wow, like, anybody, you know what I mean? Like, everybody wants that, you know what I mean? Everybody wants that. Someone that would be willing to do that. You know what I mean? Obviously, doing it and being willing to do it, is another thing, right? Like, I don't know if I would have the chest and the heart to tell my significant other to be like, no, don't do that, stay here with me, right? Especially if you're hunting for something that is a massive goal for you, right? A massive goal. But that's kind of beyond the point. And I want to go on to the very last person, because this one will be pretty quick, and that's Felicity Smoak. We do see Felicity very briefly, and I feel like their chemistry is, like, very, very good. I think Felicity Smoak is kind of like a Caitlin Snow, and I feel like that's a pretty good comparison, because they are pretty witty together, pretty charming together. She's super, super intellectual, just like Caitlin, super supportive and caring, right? And she's also got really good chemistry with Barry. And I don't want to talk too much about her, because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the stuff that she has with Barry is something that basically Barry and Caitlin have, right? It's very similar, in my opinion. And maybe you guys disagree with that, but I feel like they have some emotional depth that is pretty damn good too. And it feels like for a little bit there that they were going to be like Endgame. Like, it was kind of odd. I was like, whoa, like, is this actually happening? And I know there are some times where, or in some different worlds, probably different comic books too, that they do date at one point. But obviously that's not, like, you know, that doesn't end up being Endgame. But I feel like their witty charm, their intellectual compatibility, their flat out connection, right? I feel like they share so many values on top of that. And they just have flat out so many memorable moments, and their chemistry together is so amazing in those crossovers. And I will always remember when he speeds her in and her shirt lights on fire, and she basically just, like, takes off her shirt and stuff, and everyone's like, well, that's an interesting way to meet you, right? Like, I always found that to be absolutely hilarious. But as always, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Who do you think the best ship for Barry Allen is? Who do you enjoy the most? And also, did I miss anybody? I feel like I didn't miss anybody necessarily, but if I did, and you're like, hey, what about this person? Or hey, I think you missed this person, or this person is my favorite and you actually didn't talk about them. As always though, you know, I am a comic casual. Your boy sometimes forgets stuff. I like ranting about these things, and I like having fun with it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.